I didn't believe anything was wrong at first. People lose files all the time, old backups, forgotten folders, corrupted data that somehow survives years of neglect. That is what I told myself while cleaning an external hard drive I had used since moving apartments. I was planning to wipe it completely, but curiosity made me skim through it first. That's when I found a folder labeled with a date I didn't recognize. 5 years old. Inside were video files recorded from a camera I no longer owned. At least, I didn't remember owning it. The file names were generic, numbered unremarkable. Nothing about them suggested anything strange, but something about the timestamps bothered me. Most of the recordings were taken between midnight and 4 in the morning hours, when I was either asleep or not even home. Still, I convinced myself there was a logical explanation. There always is, until there isn't. The first video showed my living room, empty and dimly lit. The angle was wrong though, too high, too precise, like the camera had been mounted deliberately. I watched the full clip. Nothing happened. No movement. No sound, just the quiet hum of electricity. The second video was different. About 30 seconds in, the lamp beside the couch flickered on by itself. I paused the video, my hand hovering over the mouse, and laughed nervously. Faulty wiring, Premeta told myself. The third video showed the same room from a slightly different angle. Someone had moved the camera. As I kept watching, the recordings became harder to explain. A chair sliding inches across the floor, the bathroom door opening slowly, stopping just short of the frame. In one clip, the camera seemed to adjust its focus, as if responding to something unseen. I checked the metadata again. These files weren't edited. They weren't altered. They were raw footage. The worst part came near the end of the folder. The final video was shortless than a minute. The camera faced my bedroom door, filming from inside the room. I recognized the timestamp immediately. Last night, the door opened, and I stepped inside. I stood there, unmoving, staring directly past the camera, my expression blank. I stayed that way until the recording ended. I don't remember any of it. That night, I unplugged every device in my apartment. I covered my webcam. I even checked the smoke detector for hidden lenses. I found nothing. But when I turned off the lights, a small red glow flickered in the hallway right, where no camera should exist. I haven't found any new recordings since then. The folder hasn't updated. No new files. No new timestamps. But sometimes, late at night, I hear a faint click, like a camera powering down. And that's when I understand the truth. Whatever was watching me doesn't need to record anymore. It already knows everything it needs to. I wasn't tired enough to stop driving, but I wasn't alert enough to question what I saw ahead. The road had been empty for miles, my GPS struggling to load anything beyond a blank gray screen. Then the lights appeared warm, steady, inviting. A town. Small, quiet, and completely unexpected. I didn't remember seeing it on any map, but at that hour, logic felt optional. I told myself I'd stop for gas, maybe directions, and be gone in minutes. That was my first mistake. The moment I crossed into town, my phone lost service. Not even an emergency signal. The streets were clean but strangely empty. No parked cars, no children, no dogs, just buildings that looked lived in, but not lived through. I stopped at a diner near the center of town. Inside, the air felt heavy, like it hadn't moved in years. The waitress greeted me by name. I froze. I'd never been there before. I asked where I was. She smiled and said, "You're right on time." There were no clocks on the walls. The menu listed meals that weren't available anymore, crossed out in faded ink. When I tried to leave, every road curved back toward the diner, No matter which direction I drove, I began to panic. That's when I noticed my car. It was parked behind an abandoned building, coated in dust, tires half sunken into the ground. It looked old, forgotten. A man standing nearby told me not to worry. He said everyone leaves eventually, just not the way they expect. He said the town remembers people who pass through it, and sometimes it decides to keep them. I don't remember how I escaped. I only remember driving until sunrise, my GPS suddenly working again. According to every map, the town doesn't exist. But sometimes, when I'm alone, I smell the diner's coffee, and I know that if I ever drive that road again, the lights will be waiting. The voicemail notification didn't make sense. The number was mine. The timestamp was 3 days in the future. I almost deleted it, assuming it was a glitch, but curiosity won. When I pressed play, I heard breathing, slow, familiar. In the background, something chimed softly, the wind chime outside my apartment. My stomach tightened. I hadn't recorded anything like that, and yet, the voice whispered my name. More voicemails followed. Each one arrived moments before something happened. A warning not to answer the door, followed by a knock. A message telling me to move seconds before a glass shattered where I'd been standing. The voice sounded like me, but strained, exhausted, as if it had been screaming for days. The messages grew calmer as time passed, more confident. The last voicemail arrived late at night. It said listening was enough, that the signal had already been passed on. When I checked my phone again, the call log was empty. My phone doesn't ring anymore. No notifications. No mensajes. But every night, just before sleep takes me, I feel it vibrate in my hand. Like a call. Evie already answered. And somewhere, a voice that sounds like mine is finally silent.